Jai. Jai Saparika Shri Guru Gaur Chandraju ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Govardhanju ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Paribrajaka Astatar Sita Shri Śrīmatī Śrī Bhakti Sundar Govindadeva Goswāmī Mahārāj ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Paribrajaka Astatar Sita Shri Śrīmatī Śrī Bhakti Rakak Śrīla Goswāmī Mahārāj ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission ki Jai. Welcome to Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission morning class. Dandavad. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Parakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitangstam Sajivam Jai Shri Jivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidangscha Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Haribo. This is the appearance day of Śrī Vāmanadeva. So we can hear the pastimes of Śrī Vāmanadeva and also of Śrīla Jīva Goswāmī, who is one of the 6 Goswāmīs and so supremely important in our Sampradāya by the grace of Mahaprabhu. Okay. So the appearance day of Śrīla Jīva Goswāmī. So Jai Śrīla Jīva Goswāmī is the son of Anupam, who is the 3rd brother. There's Sanatana Goswāmī, and then the younger brother of Sanatana is Rupa, and their younger brother is Anupam. But he was a householder, and his son was Jiva, Śrī Jīva Goswāmī. And Jīva Goswāmī. So there's a nice little article here that I'm going to, this is a transcript by Amiya Kanti Devi Dasi, checked by Bhakti Pradipti, Tirthamar. What does P mean? I don't know. And Madhusudan Maharaj, Srila Madhusudan Maharaj. So it's the appearance day of Śrīla Jīva Goswāmī, and Śrīla Jīva Goswāmī is the protector of our Sampradāya. So Śrīla Rupa Goswāmī and Śrīla Sanatana Goswāmī gave everything. They gave the full Siddhanta. But Śrīla Jīva Goswāmī established it, fully established it, and he protected it fully, made it so that it is unassailable. From evidence from the scriptures, no one can, in any kind of thought, can defeat what was given by Śrīla Rupa Goswāmī and Śrīla Sanatana Goswāmī. So Śrīla Guru Maharaj said, Jiva Jer Abhirakshitam. Our whole Sampradāya with so much wealth came from Jīva Goswāmī Prabhu. And so Rupa and Sanatana gave so much, and Jīva Goswāmī Prabhu protected them from the other schools of religious thought, like Shankaracharya and the atheist Kapila Sankhya philosophy. So again, we remember Kapila Dev, the incarnation of the Lord, spoke what he called Sankhya philosophy. But then later on, an atheist called himself Kapila and also called his doctrine Shankya philosophy, but it's fully atheistic, completely nonsense. And Jīva Goswāmī could just with 2 or 3 words could slap them out of existence. I mean, their ideas out of existence. They make no sense whatsoever, and they are fully unauthorized. They're just the product of the mental plane, and he can absolutely establish that. So he's the great protector. They wanted to establish Niraka Nirvishesh Brahma, the impersonalism, non-variegatedness, but Jīva Goswāmī very authentically and wisely defeated them. He established Achincha Beda, Beda Siddhanta of Śrīla, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Jīva Goswāmī was born in the Bakla Chandra Dweep as the son of Anupam. Anupam was the brother of Rupa Sanatan. And then when Jīva Goswāmī was around 12 years old, 12, can you imagine? He went to Navadvip and he met with Nityananda Prabhu. And that is the basis of the Navadvip Dham Mahatmya. Nityananda Prabhu bringing Jīva Goswāmī, and then of course joined by others, and taking him all around Navadvip. That is really one of the most, to me, I don't know even what to say about that book. It is so wonderful. So Jīva Goswāmī met with Nityananda Prabhu, and Nityananda Prabhu showed him everything, all the pastime places of Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Dev. Vishnu Priya Devi took him as a son and gave him so much affectionate nourishment. Nityananda Prabhu took Jīva Goswāmī around the whole of Navadvip Dham and ordered him, Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Deva has given Vrindavan Dham to you all, meaning the 6 Goswamis. Then you go to Vrindavan. I am giving my mercy, my blessings, affectionate love, everything to you. You establish Mahaprabhu Sampradāya. So on the way to Vrindavan, Sri Jīva Goswāmī went to Benares, and he was given super education from the scriptures. He became highly educated in all the scriptures, Veda, Vedanta, Upanishad, Purana, Nyaya. Within 5 years, he learned and finished his education. Because he knew if he went to Rupa Sanatan, then service would be awaiting for him. And he received his education so that he could do that service more expertly, beautifully, and authentically. And it's significant that Jīva Goswāmī studied Nyaya. You know that the meaning of that? It means logic. So logic has in itself, in and of itself, like there are those who, at least in the olden days, would become so absorbed in Nyaya that they couldn't remember who they were and why they were studying it in the first place. But Jīva Goswāmī was super expert in logic, and the significance of that is that if anyone, these are established scriptures, and if anyone was speaking some kind of nonsense and calling it spiritual education or spiritual knowledge, and it made no sense, then Jīva Goswāmī can defeat it. And also based on the fully conversant with every kind of scripture. And so very beautifully, completely established Achincha Beda Beda Siddhanta. Not whimsical, but super supremely substantial. And no one can get this kind of education in 5 years. It's not possible. In 5 lifetimes, not even. Then from Benares he went to Rupa Sanatan in Vrindavan, took shelter there and stayed with Rupa Goswāmī Prabhu. He took Diksha Mantram from Rupa Goswāmī and was always serving Rupa Goswāmī. all the Vaishnavas, all the Goswāmis, especially Rupa Sanatana Bhatta, Raghunath, Gopal Bhatta, Das Goswāmī, and everyone gave him so much nourishment and affection. Jīva Goswāmī also served the whole Sampradāya by staying in Vrindavan. By the order of Rupa Goswāmī, he manifested and established the Radha Damodar temple. So those who have been in Vrindavan and those who will go to Vrindavan in the future, we can here understand the deep significance of the Radha Damodar temple. There in the Radha Damodar temple, we can see the Bhajan Kutir of Rupa Goswāmī. By the order of Rupa Goswāmī, he manifested and established the Radha Damodar temple. And when Rupa Goswāmī became aged, Jīva Goswāmī took Rupa Goswāmī to stay there at the Radha Damodar temple. There in Radha Damodar temple, we can see the Bhajan Kutir of Rupa Goswāmī, and the Samadhi of Rupa Goswāmī, and the Samadhi of Kṛṣṇa Das Kaviraj Goswāmī, and the Samadhi of Jīva Goswāmī and others. The super, like you could say, the central jewel of Vrindavan, Radha Damodar temple. And this is very significant for us. Once Radha Damodar wanted to give me some service, but I had not taken it because I had no manpower. So at that time, this is a very nice history of our very recent history in our Sampradāya, and very significant. Srila Gurudev was hesitant to accept the service responsibility there because he had no men, not enough men or money to take care and to establish that service properly. So I had no manpower who will serve with their heart and full devotion. That kind of person is very rare to get. Only instead of money as a financial transaction, I could not take that. But Rupa Goswāmī is so merciful, and Śrī Jīva Goswāmī is so merciful. They gave one piece of land adjoining Rupa Goswāmī. So even though Srila Gurudev was really hesitant, it was just put into his hand forcibly. That land is also Radha Damodar's land. That means that where our temple is there, that is actually part of the Radha Damodar's land. And very critically, and legally, I got that land through my dead telephone. So the phone was not working. And then every once in a while, Srila Gurudev would pick up the phone to see, is it working? But then he picked it up and he said it was still dead. But suddenly one person from Vrindavan, Krishna Ballabha, is talking on the line and telling me, Maharaj, 15 days are given by the order of the magistrate, that if you take this land within 15 days, you will get that land of Jīva Goswāmī Prabhu. And I can say that we know that in those days, every group wanted that land. ISKCON wanted it too. But that wasn't given to, it was given to Gurudev. Jīva Goswāmī Prabhu's character was very, very strong. Then I was surprised. But within 15 days, where shall I get so much money? Within 15 days, who will deal with the legal document? Everything takes so long in India, actually. And Krishna Ballabha said, you don't worry for money. Money I shall arrange for you, but you send your person. And I sent Purnananda and told him to legally transfer it in the name of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. Jīva Goswāmī is very merciful, and Rupa Goswāmī is very merciful to have given that land. I immediately started my service there. Now there is a 3-story building and a very beautiful temple of Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Rasa Bihariju. Srila Guru Maharaj's Pushpa Samadhi is inside the temple. You will see when you go. Jīva Goswāmi's character was very strong, and he was highly educated in Sanskrit and scripture. Sometimes he even corrected the writings of Rupa Goswāmī. Rupa Goswāmī told him many times, Jiva, you see if it is perfect or not. Jīva Goswāmī helped to make the Satsandarbhas super authentic scripture. Hey, Damodar Prabhu, can you keep that down a little bit? Jīva Goswāmī helped to make the Satsandarbhas, the super authentic scripture in Mahaprabhu's Sampradāya. Jīva Goswāmī said, it was in a disordered form, so I am making it in an ordered form. That way he gave explanation, but actually he made everything. He's saying, it was there, it was just disorganized, and I put it into order, but actually he gave it all. That all came from him. Once it happened that Balabhabhata, so this is one very instructive story for us. Once it happened that Balabhabhata, who was very learned, saw that there was a little fault in one shloka of Rupa Goswāmī. And he told Rupa Goswāmī, Rupa, here is a little fault, and you can correct it in this way. So he was senior, and Rupa Goswāmī was very respectful to him. And are you going? Are you going now? Oh, okay. Okay. So Rupa Goswāmī was always giving honor to everyone, and he gave honor to Balabhabhata, and he corrected that. So this is a very, very broad vision of Trinadapi Sunichena Tarodavasihishnana. And Rupa Goswāmi's nature was like that. He didn't mind, he just corrected that. But Jīva Goswāmī knew that what Rupa Goswāmī wrote was correct. Then he went to take water from the Jamuna, and there he met Balabhabhata. He told him, the shloka you tried to correct is already correct, I think. People would speak in such a gentle way then. I think it is correct. And then Balabhabhata debated with Jīva Goswāmī about that shloka, and he was very happy to see what Jīva Goswāmī said was perfect. Then he came back to Rupa Goswāmī and said, Rupa, I said to correct that shloka, but it was not necessary to correct it. It was perfect. You can keep it. Then he asked, who is that young boy, that 17 or 18-year-old boy? Rupa Goswāmī said, oh, he's my nephew, and he's staying with me. He's my disciple. Balabhabhata said, oh, he's highly educated and a very big pundit. He defeated me about this. And then Rupa Goswāmī was a little angry with Jīva Goswāmī. He said, he is your guru. Why did you go to correct him? He said, he's senior. Why did you correct him? This is not our type of dealings. And so, why did you correct him? This type of mentality cannot stay with me. You get out from my kunja. Go back to your father's house, Bakla Chandradweep. Go back. Very strong chastisement. Rupa Goswāmī, so Jīva Goswāmī Prabhu was very sad, and he thought, what shall I do with my life if I cannot serve my Guru Maharaj? In maybe Vangshivat under a tree, Jīva Goswāmī was writing one book, Sri Gopal Champu. Sri Gopal was his good friend, and Sri Gopal was addicted with Sakya Ras in Kṛṣṇa Lila, calling it addicted, divine addiction. So Jīva Goswāmī said, I shall keep within our form your Sakya Ras. I shall write one book for you, for your happiness. And Jīva Goswāmī remembered that, and he wrote the Gopal Champu. In the meantime, Sanatana Goswāmī met with Jīva Goswāmī and saw that he was doing Praya Upavesham. So while he writing this book, Jīva Goswāmī was not even drinking water. He was fully fasting. He couldn't really bear the thought of any life without the service of Rupa Goswāmī. And he was wanting to leave that body, his body. Sanatana Goswāmī went to Rupa Goswāmī and asked, Rupa, what are Mahaprabhu's teachings? Can you say? Rupa Goswāmī said, yes. Jiva doi, nam me ruchi, and Vaishnava seva, service to the Vaishnavas. And Jiva doi means being kind to the Jiva souls and giving them Kṛṣṇa consciousness. And nam ruchi means to take the holy name, and Hari Nam always, and that is service. Mahaprabhu's teachings is this. Then Sanatana Goswāmī said, you told Jiva doi, but Jiva is leaving his body. So he's a little bit of a play on words. He's saying Jiva doi, but Jiva is going to die. It is not good what you have done. Do not throw Jiva out. He is a good boy. Then Rupa Goswāmī went to Jīva Goswāmī and said, Jiva, you come back. And he gave full service to him. Not only service, but the being in charge of the service. He gave everything. The Jīva Goswāmī's Avirbhav is today. Mayavad, Shankyavad, Buddhavad, whatever Vad was there, all he defeated. He defeated everything. And really defeated. In a perfect way. With perfect evidence. Perfect thought. And no one could stand up to Jīva Goswāmī. All he defeated, and he established a Chincha Beda Beda Tattva through those Sat Sandarbhas. Those Sat Sandarbhas are very many. Well, they're also very difficult. They're really, they're newcomers to the scriptures are not really going to find it very easy to read those books, and we haven't really been given them exactly. So anyway, but we have the conclusions in the writings and in the teachings of our Guru Varga. Many books Jīva Goswāmī composed. One very beautiful book, I like that book very much, is Harinamrita Vyakaran, the grammar of Sanskrit. And that Sanskrit grammar is unique. We cannot conceive that the grammar of every word indicates Kṛṣṇa. But he didn't give this sentimentally. He gave it perfectly. Everything indicates Kṛṣṇa, actually. When our eyes are open, we will be able to see that everything is indicating Kṛṣṇa. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, the whole of the universe is simply a metaphor for Kṛṣṇa. If we can begin to see in that angle of vision instead of on our present angle of vision. So Srila Jīva Goswāmī wrote that beautiful Harinam Amrita Vyakaran, that grammar study showing everything is indicating Kṛṣṇa. But he made grammar in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. It is inconceivable. But every name is inside the grammar. Every matter, all is built by Kṛṣṇa consciousness. I read that grammar and I was very happy. I felt my life is successful, and that happened also. My life was successful. I do not actually know Sanskrit, but by the grace of Jīva Goswāmī and the mercy of Guru Maharaj, I am famous in Sanskrit, meaning many people think of me in this way, and it is true. He could compose, Srila Gurudev can compose Sanskrit verses like that, and perfect. Very perfect. No one could say, no, grammatically this part was wrong or this was wrong. No. And just like that, any subject, and he would be able to compose many verses. But he's saying, no, that is not my qualification. It is the mercy of Jīva Goswāmī and Śrīla Guru Maharaj. But actually, I'm not so qualified. More qualification is necessary to understand. But Guru Maharaj gave the vital point to me, and I can relish with that. Guru Maharaj engaged Dol Govinda Shastri as my teacher, Gurudev is saying. And he's a very good teacher. He's still alive in Chattakarissa, but not now. This was written some time ago or spoken. Anyhow, that Jīva Goswāmī Prabhu's appearance day is today. That means all the length, all the light, all the strength, all the beauty, and all the beautiful conception of Kṛṣṇa consciousness has come through Jīva Goswāmī Prabhu to us. That is our wealth, the wealth of life, the wealth of the spiritual world. What Jīva Goswāmī Prabhu gave, no one else has given that. Jīva Goswāmī's contribution in the Sampradāya is absolutely unique and necessary. He has given full divine support, unassailable support to the teachings of Srila Rupa Goswāmī and Sanatana Goswāmī and the Siddhanta of Mahaprabhu, Achintya Bheda Bhed. For that, Baladev Bijabhushan went to defeat the Acharya of the Sri Sampradāya, and after that is also the Ramanandi section. They challenged Baladev Bijabhushan, you have no Vedanta Bhasya. In response, Baladev Bijabhushan made Govinda Bhasya. So that happened in Galta, just outside of Jaipur, when Baladev Bijabhushan was challenged, and he thought, they're giving me this short, but he wanted to establish what Jīva Goswāmī established. And the king of Jaipur also was very heartbroken because he wanted to worship Shri Radha Govinda, but they don't like that. The Radharani will be there. They said there's no. So Baladev Bijabhushan wrote Govinda Bhasya, and the reason it is called Govinda Bhasya is because he prayed to the deity. I cannot do this. There's no time. I'm not qualified. I don't know how I will do it. And in his divine inspired heart, the Lord told him, you just start writing. I'm going to write this Bhasya. And when he presented it to those scholars, they were stunned. These are true, real things that happen. And they were stunned by what he had written. And then everything was good, and Shri Radha Govinda are being worshipped there still in Jaipur, in that wonderful place. And so this was established. Mahaprabhu did not compose Vedanta Bhasya, and Jīva Goswāmī did not compose Vedanta Bhasya as such, directly. Vedanta Bhasya means a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. And at that time that was what had to have been in order for one sampradaya or one's group to be established as bona fide in the minds of those persons. So they didn't do that. So Bhasya means explanation or interpretation. However, it was given by Jīva Goswāmī through the Satsandarbha made up of the Tattva Sandarbha, the Bhakti Sandarbha, the Priti Sandarbha, the Paramatma Sandarbha, the Bhagavat Sandarbha, and the Krishna Sandarbha. After reading those Sat Sandarbhas, Baladeva Jabusha made the Pranam Mantra for Jīva Goswāmī there at the start of Govinda Bhasya. Is everybody following this? So all these Sat Sandarbhas were already established. Baladeva Jabushan had read those, and then he established the Vedanta, or the commentary on Vedanta Sutra representing the Sampradāya. So he wrote this. Sri Govinda himself is dictating from. He's writing the Govinda Bhasya, but in the very beginning, Baladeva Jabushan is saying, Yashankya Pankena Kutarka Pungsana Vibharta Gartena Chalupta Diditam Stadam Vyabhaktak Sudaya Maheshwaram Krishnam Sajiva Prabhurastu Gatim. Sorry. He is a super protector of our Sampradāya from any other disturbances. And I bow down to his lotus feet. This way, he wrote, he established Kṛṣṇa, who is Parameshwar Satchidananda Vigraha, who is Anadi. Who knows what Anadi means? No beginning. Who is Anadi and who is Adir. He is the beginning of everything. Whose name is Govinda, who is the cause of all causes. That was written in Brahma Samhita and was established in this world by Jīva Goswāmī Prabhu. Today is also Vāmanadev's Abhirbhav. So Vāmanadeva, now we will hear about Śrī Vāmanadeva. So this is very ancient times. And Vāmanadeva, although the incarnations of the Lord are innumerable, this is not possible. They're as numerous as the waves on the ocean. But chiefly, there are 10 incarnations. And one of those is Vāmanadeva. And there were two sisters. One's name was Dīdī, and one's name was Aditi. And they were both married to a great sage named Kashyapa Muni. And Kashyapa Muni, but Dīdī, she became the mother of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So the descendants of them are called the Daityas because they're descendants of Dīdī. But her sister Aditi was the mother of Indra, but chiefly she became the divine mother of Vāmanadeva. And when Vāmanadeva was born, it was so auspicious, all wonderful, and he was given all these different gifts from the demigods, a water pot. He wore like like deer skin. He was very small, so he was considered to be like a dwarf, but supremely gorgeous. And he had got all these wonderful blessings, and he was bathed, and all the celestials are celebrating. And Aditi, of course, was overwhelmed, and his name is Aditi Nandan, in celebration of his being the son of Aditi and Kashyapa Muni. So there's something else going on at the same time in the universe, and this is why he appeared ostensibly. Of course, he does. Yada yada hi dharma siya glanir bhavati bharata. I am coming from time to time to dispel adharma and to establish dharma and to protect the devotees and also I mean, these things are spoken many places, and Brahma Samhita also. Dharmadi Murti Shukalani Amena Tishtan Na Avatarama Karo Bhuvaneshu Kintu Kṛṣṇa Swayam Samabhava Parama Pumanyo Govindamadi Purushang Tamaham Bhajami. So Vāmanadeva is an incarnation. He is Leela avatar. And he came. So at that same time, the demigods were very disturbed because there was a descendant of Hiranyakashipu, and therefore a descendant of Prahlad Mahārāj, actually, maybe grandson. And Bali Mahārāj was his name. And of course he's in the line of the demons. This is what they do. This is how we make a living. You know, my father was a carpenter. His father was a carpenter. And my father was, we take over universes. This is what we do. So Bali Mahārāj had already taken so much. And he was performing a sacrifice which would seal the deal. And the guru of that sacrifice was the famous Shankaracharya. I'm sorry, not Shankaracharya. It was, what was his name? Oh, now I have to look this up. Shukracharya. So Shukracharya, he was a very powerful Shukracharya. So he knew he was super expert in these kinds of matters, and he knew how to wiggle around to get things done for the demons. Knew how to this mantra can be used for that and this and that. So he was in charge of this very, very powerful sacrifice, which would establish Bali Mahārāj as the supreme ruler of the universe. And it was, the demigods were very concerned about this, because you don't really want a demon ruling things. He's saying, we're not going to be able to do our job, because they're, not in the mode of pure goodness, but they know how to do things properly. They're very good citizens. They're obedient to the Lord, and they want to make things properly. So they were worried, and they approached Lord Vishnu, and then Lord Vishnu himself appears as Vāmanadeva with his water pot and his, he's wandering, and he wanders into that arena. And everyone's going to let him come in. He's this Brāhmin boy, very effulgent. Looked like the suns, millions of suns were arising in the arena of sacrifice. And Bali Mahārāj was, who is this? And he had made a vow at the beginning of the sacrifice that anyone who asked him for anything during the course of that sacrifice, he will give it to them. So, Vāmanadeva's wandering up to the front, where the sacrifice is, and Bali Mahārāj said, offering respects to this beautiful Brahmin boy. Oh, you have come here, you're so beautiful, so effulgent. Please, ask me for some charity. What can I give you? And Vāmanadeva says, I don't need much. I'm happy within, Brahmin boy. He said, but if you can give me just 3 steps of land that I can lie down on, that will be sufficient, more than sufficient. Bali Mahārāj said, do you know who you're talking to here? I can give you a planetary system. I practically own the whole place. I can give you planets. No, I do not. I'm not. I'm a Brahmin boy. I don't need all these things. Okay, well, I can give you then just a village and a good wife and many cows. Let me at least give you a village. No, 3 steps of land. I like to just keep my heart in the higher planes of the spiritual, And then Shukracharya said, don't give him anything. I'm telling you, this is Vishnu. This is Vishnu. The demigods have asked him to come and wreck this sacrifice. He's going to take everything from you. And Bali Mahārāj said, I already promised that I'm going to give whoever asks for anything what they want. And I promised that. So I'm going to give him this. So there's, in these ritualistic sacrifices, and there's potency, it's material potency, but there's a kamandalu there with the spout. And if one makes a promise to give somebody something or anything, whatever and he pours a few drops of water from this kamandalu, then that's sealed. That's it. That's done. He said, no, I'm going to do this. First, Shukracharya says, I can figure it out. I know it all. I can work it. I can make it so it's not sinful if you break your promise. I can, I know how to do this kind of. He's like, one of those lawyers for the mafia, And they said, no, I can. And Bali Mahārāj said, no. And he wants to pour this water to give to this charming boy. Why would I not give him? And then Shukracharya mystically entered into the spout of the water pot, and no water would come out. Bali Mahārāj said, what is this? Vāmanadeva says, oh, don't worry, it's just something clogging it. Took some kusha grass and poked Shukracharya in the eye, and took his eye out, actually. And Shukracharya climbed out of there and ran away. And then tuk, and it was done. And suddenly Vāmanadeva begins to grow into such a form, like the universe itself, and huge, and like inconceivable. The planets are just floating around him like little poofs of something, little dust. And he steps over the higher planetary systems and the middle planetary systems. And then he says, with two of his steps. And then he steps over the lower planetary systems. And then he says to Bali Mahārāj, give me a boon, or give me some dakshin. I'm a Brāhmin, give me some charity now. And Bali Mahārāj said, my Lord, you have taken everything from me already. I haven't a penny in my pocket. Like, I don't have anything but my head. And then Vāmanadeva was there, and then that manifestation where he became so big, of course, is known as Trivikram. And who steps over. And when he made that step, his lotus feet pierced the coverings of the universe. This is all very, anyway. And the water from the causal ocean flowed down and washed his lotus feet, and came and started to flow in the heavenly planets, and that is the Ganga. So later on, the Ganga came to earth, as Nityananda Prabhu explains to Jīva Goswāmī, and that's another story. But so the Ganga was manifest at that time, and Vāmanadeva was so happy with Bali Mahārāj. Bali Mahārāj was I believe, the grandson of Prahlāda. I forget now. I think his son was Virochana and then Bali. But I forget, actually, I don't remember exactly. But he was the descendant of Prahlāda. I think his grandson. But he was also influenced by Prahlāda Mahārāj. And Prahlāda Mahārāj was given the benediction also by Nrsimhadev, who's non-different from Vāmanadeva, that all of his descendants and ancestors of 10 generations would all be liberated from this world. And so, but Vāmanadeva actually had some special affection for Bali Mahārāj because he didn't complain or lament. He simply bowed down. Yes, my Lord, you have taken everything from me. This is your grace. And now I only have my head to give you. And so, Vāmanadeva said, I want you to put his lotus feet on the head of Bali Mahārāj and tied him up. And Bali Mahārāj said, this is your grace, this is your mercy. And then he said, I'm going to give you your place in Patala Loka. You have to leave Swarga. Swarga is for the demigods. They have their jobs to do. But I'll give you a place in Patala Loka. Yes, my Lord. And then he said, now you can ask from me something. And Bali Mahārāj said, I would like you to stay with me there. If you can just stay with me, I'll always be happy. You can be my doorkeeper. Meaning, somebody who's always there and protecting. And then Vāmanadeva agreed to that. And still, he is the doorkeeper of Bali Mahārāj in Patala Loka. I heard that one place, that is still happening because... And it was in another pastime, and now I forget when they went to... Who went to meet with Bali Mahārāj? I forget the scripture, I read it, but it wasn't very long ago, but I still forget.
Wasn't it the time was going very fast?
Anyway, I don't remember, but anyway, there it is. And so Vāmanadeva, and today is Vāmanadeva's appearance day, and we've tried to remember his lotus feet, and we hope we haven't made any offense or we've only given happiness to that we've pleased our Gurudev by trying to tell the story as we have been given it in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And so Aditi Nandan Abhirbha Mahamahotsav Ki Jai, Jai Śrī Vāmanadeva Ki Jai, Sri Trivikram Ki Jai, and Bali Mahārāj Ki Jai. Full self-surrender. He gave everything, full self-surrender. As you could say, no, he didn't give it. It was taken from him. But no, he gave it. He gave it with his heart, and he didn't know what was going to happen. But he gave, ignoring his guru. He gave that charity from the impulse of his heart. But also, having lost everything, he was fully happy in his heart and bowed down to the Lord's divine pastimes. So this is Bali Mahārāj is often given as the emblem of full self-surrender. And of course we have others more in Vrindavan Leela, more higher and higher and higher that we are worshipping, but certainly we are worshipping with affection the pastimes with Bali Mahārāj Jai. So now it's 10 to... So let's read a little bit from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita while we have a little time. Any questions or comments?
I just wonder how fixed are those? Like you said, you couldn't recall if the pastime was...
No. No, that wasn't what I couldn't recall. What I couldn't recall was... there's another... And I'm forgetting... I'll remember later. Who visited Bali Mahārāj there and saw Vāmanadeva? And it wasn't that long ago, but when we read that, but I cannot remember who that was and when that was, but I forget. But anyways, Jai.
I was just trying to say that I don't know to what degree they fixed.
What was that?
How they fixed, how they forever in Kṛṣṇa's pastimes, how this is forever. It may be not forever.
Oh no.
It may be
Yeah.
not fixed.
Yeah. No, but I was just one.
My thought.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. This is our Jai. So Haribol, Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda. So we're reading now, continuing to read the 18th chapter of the Anchalila. So text number 26, Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Ki Jai, Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Text 26. E Mata Mahaprabhu Brahmite Brahmite Aito Tahaite Samudra Dekena Achambite. While thus wandering near the temple of Aitota, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu suddenly saw the sea. Chandra Kante Uchalita Taranga Ujwala Jalamala Kare Jena Jamunara Jala. Brightened by the shining light of the moon, the high waves of the sea glittered like the waters of the river Jamuna. Jamunara Brahme Prabhu Danya Chalila Alakshite Jai Sindhu Jale Janpadila. Mistaking the sea for the Jamuna, the Lord ran swiftly and jumped into the water unseen by others. Pandite Haila Murcha Kichuina Jane Kabu Dubaya Kabu Bashaya Tarange Ragane. Falling into the sea, he lost consciousness, external consciousness, and could not understand where he was. Sometimes he sank beneath the waves, and sometimes he floated above them. Tarange Vahiya Pire Jena Shushka Kashta Ke Bujite Pare E Chaitanya Ranata. The waves carried him here and there like a piece of dry wood. Who can understand this dramatic performance by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Oh, floated above them. Maybe floating on them. Konarke radike prabhure tarange lanyayaya kabo dubanya rake kabu bashanya lanyayaya. Keeping the Lord sometimes submerged and sometimes afloat, the waves carried him toward the Konarka temple. Konarka, generally known as Arkatirtha, is a temple of Lord Surya, the sun god. It is situated on the seashore 19 miles north of Jagannath Puri. It was constructed of black stone in the beginning of the 13th century of the Shaka era, which shows expert craftsmanship and architecture. Jamunate Jala, it's interesting that we're hearing about this again because in Galta also there is the Surya Mandir. Very interesting. Jamunate Jala Keli Gopigana Shange Kṛṣṇa Karena Mahaprabhu Magna Seirange. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fully merged in the pastime Lord Kṛṣṇa performed with the gopis in the waters of the Jamuna. Iha Swarupadi Gana Prabhu Nadekiya Kaha Gela Prabhu Kahe Chammakita Hanya. Meanwhile, all the devotees headed by Swarup Damodar lost sight of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Astonished, they began searching for him, asking, "Where is the Lord gone?" So remember that the Lord was wandering on the banks of the ocean, on the ocean shore, along with the devotees, and many, many pastimes going on there. But suddenly he disappeared, and no one saw him going into the sea. So they didn't know where he was. Manuvege gela Prabhu dekite narila Prabhu rena dekiya shangshaya karite lagila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had run off at the speed of the mind. So how fast is the mind? It's instantaneous. So those persons who can travel at the speed of the mind can simply appear somewhere else. No one could see him, thus everyone was puzzled as to his whereabouts. Jagannatha dekite kiba devalaya gela, anya ujjane kiba unmade padila. Has the Lord gone to the temple of Jagannath? Or has he fallen down in madness in some garden? Gundicha mandiri gela kiba narendrere, chataka parvate gela kiba konarkele. Perhaps he went to the Gundicha temple or to Lake Narendra or to the Chatak Parvat. Maybe he went to the temple at
So when like Emperor Yudhisthira
it's okay,
is like
Didi.
taking possession of the planet, then that's like, you know, as a service role, but the universe is like owned. Our universe is owned by Lord Vāmanadeva, basically, and this is like.
You know, Vāmanadeva is the Lord, And the Lord, I mean, you know that. And the Lord, and Vishnu is coming in so many incarnations. Śrī Vishnu actually is the source of all of the, I mean, they're coming, expansions of him in the universes. And then Kṛṣṇa Swayam Samabhava Paramapumanya. He's not the origin, but they're sort of, he's expanding, and they all have their abodes in Vaikuntha and so on. And finally, the origin of them is Kṛṣṇa, Bhagavan Kṛṣṇa, and sometimes Kṛṣṇa comes himself. But nothing is owned by anyone but him. But there is some so-called ownership in the plane of karma. But it's obviously not real, because it doesn't last for any... It's just an idea based on the mental plane of the action and reaction platform. But Kṛṣṇa enters into that and does some wonderful thing. But he's basically trying to get us all to look at him and say, oh, maybe you're my real Lord and you really actually own everything. And, I mean, if he didn't own it, what's he... I mean, he can't step over the... who's going to do... Nobody can do that. I mean, I'm saying what I know you already know, so I'm not quite sure about your question. I mean, all the incarnations of the Lord actually own everything, because they're all the same person. They're the Lord and showing himself in different expansion.
Like Indra and Kṛṣṇa and Brahma as well, right? That are sort of on a similar vein. How did in the Vedic society, it's like all the planets are owned by Vishnu, and then like...
Not everybody knows that. In fact, mostly, in the Vedas, the four goals of human life, Dharma, Artha, Kāma, and Mokṣa. And most of the persons who are following the Vedic culture, and you'll see this in Mahabharata, are mostly trying to follow those four objectives, almost all of them. And the sages were the ones who were looking for moksha. And the sages listening to Sukadeva Goswāmī, that's what they're looking for. And the only reason that they would listen to the Bhagavatam is because Sukadeva Goswāmī was speaking it. Otherwise they wouldn't have listened. They weren't interested in all this relativity, all these things, different people, pastimes. That's all irrelevant to them. They want to get rid of everything. But because Sukadeva was firmly in full Brahman realization, they listened to him. Otherwise they wouldn't have listened to him. That's the reason that Kṛṣṇa arranged for Sukadeva Goswāmī to speak the Bhagavatam. Because otherwise they wouldn't have heard him. So that's what Vedic society was leading to for the most part. And so when Kṛṣṇa says, Sarvadharmam Parityajya Mamekam Sarvadharmam Parityajya? What? We can't conceive of what a statement like that landing in the middle of Vedic culture. For us, it's like, sure, I'll give up religion, no problem. I gave that up a long time ago, But in Vedic society, which is completely, regulated in the gradual evolution of the consciousness, coming mostly to moksha, that is an unbelievable statement. Mind-blowing. So there's no question of Vishnu being on the level of the demigod. He's the source of the demigod. The demigods have no power without him. That power's on loan. It's all his power. And those who worship the demigods should pay attention to what they are doing in their spare time. They're all worshiping Vishnu. Indra has a constant sacrifice going on in Swarga. And it's all to worship Vāmanadeva, his brother. And he says, sometimes Vāmanadeva comes, sometimes he leaves. I don't know where he went. He's talking to Narada, who's going to all these different planes of devotees. But Vishnu is not a demigod. Vishnu is an expansion of Mahavishnu. Vishnu meaning Shirdakshay Vishnu is an expansion of Mahavishnu who's breathing out the universes in his sleep. He's not different from Mahavishnu. Do you follow? I mean, yeah. And then, Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Garbo means perspiration. I know we hear in that verse in Lalita Saki, to remove one, Garbo Bindu, like one drop of perspiration. And the half of the universe is filled up with the divine waters coming from the holy form of the Lord. I mean, there's no comparison. Vishnu and the demigod. A demigod isn't even a demigod. He's just a soul who thinks he's a demigod, and he's got a little bit of that situation due to his karma, but it's temporary. It's not permanent. But Vishnu's always Vishnu. He owns all of it. And an expansion, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, all of those expansions, they're in charge of the mind, the intelligence, all the things that we think, this is me, that's all his. Nobody owns anything. But we want to be owned by him. So these are all the expansions of the Lord. There's different kinds of avatars, Leela avatars, Guna avatars, Manvantar avatars, Leela, Guna, Yuga avatars, so many different kinds of avatars, but they're all coming from Vishnu. But then, once in a while, Kṛṣṇa comes himself. Who is the source of all those avatars? Any other? Was that at all? Okay. That's why he's the cause of all causes. There's nothing outside of him. Nothing. But that is gorgeous. For those who are actually devotees, who we're trying to worship, there is nothing but miracles everywhere. Because their vision has no mundanity. They're seeing that a leaf going this way or this way is a wonder of divine will. And it is conscious. Consciously serving the Lord. But what we're seeing as matter, that's an illusion. It's not the truth of what's going on. So this is what we're worshiping. And we don't want to get hung up on any other plane. And what to speak, even the Kṛṣṇa of Gita, Kṛṣṇa, that is an expansion of Kṛṣṇa, who is in Vrindavan. And we're worshiping him, but not only that, but we're worshiping what Mahaprabhu came to give. And that is Śrīla Rupa Goswāmī's service. So there's so much gradation there. But we're worshiping all of it, because it's all wonderful, it's all sweet, it's all full of mercy. Krishna's and Vishnu, in all of expansions, we're worshiping them. But supremely, we don't lose sight of that we are in the Rupanuga Sampradāya. And supremely understanding, as we just heard about Jīva Goswāmī, the supremacy, reasonably, logically, and with all evidence of what Mahaprabhu came to give. And except for Mahaprabhu, no one gives that. No one. So this is all very exciting. And doesn't let up. It's not like, we're reading Gita every Wednesday night for how many years? And, yesterday was like, what? This is amazing. We're all amazed Jai Guru Shri Shri Guru Gaura Chandra Giriraju Ki Jai. All right. Is that better? Is that good? All right, Prabhu. Thank you for that. Oh, we should sing Daśāvatār. Well, we'll have to do that later. We could do that now. Yeah. And of course, the divine cooks are cooking some nice sweet rice to offer. Do you have your song, Prabhu? Oh. Do you know where that is? Pralaya. It starts Pralaya. Pralaya. Pralaya Prabhu Nijale 268. And this was written by Śrīla Jīva. Excuse me. Jay Goswāmī 268. And most of Jay Goswāmī's writings we don't read because they're very, very high. But of course Mahaprabhu listened to them incessantly. And the books of Chandidas and Vidyapati and all these, we're not qualified at this time to read all those kinds of books, nor do we have any desire to. What we've been given is already makes us a little shy to read, but we are bowing down to that, bowing down desperately. Okay, 268, Śrī Daśāvatār Stotram. Pralaya prayodi jale dittavama sivedam vitava hitra charitra makedam. Prayodi jale dittavama sivedam vitava hitra charitra makedam. Keshavadita mina sarira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Keshavadita mina sarira Jai Jagadisha Hare Krishna Shitari Havipulatare Tishtati Tava Prishte Dharani Dharana Kina Chakra Gadise Shitari Havipulatare Tishtati Tava Prishte Dharana Kina Chakra Gadise Keshavadita Kurma Sarira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Adita Kurma Sarira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Jaya Jagadisha Hare Vasati Dashana Shikare Dharani Tavalagna Shastini Kalanka Kave Vamiragna Shana Shikare Dharani Tavalagna Shastini Kalanka Kave Vamiragna Keshavadita Sukararupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Keshavadita Sukararupa Jai Jagadisha Hare
Tavakara Kamala Vare Nakamadbhuta Shingam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Danubringam Tavakara Kamala Vare Nakamabhuta Shingam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Chalayasi Vikramane Bali Madbhuta Vāmana Padanakani Rajanita Jana Pavana Padanakani Rajanita Jana Pavana Eke Shavadita Vāmanarupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Shavadita Vāmanarupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Chachi Arudi Ramaye Jagadapagata Papam Sapayasi Payasi Samita Bhavatapam Ye Jagadapagata Papam Sapayasi Payasi Samita Bhavatapam Keshavadita Brigupati Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Keshavadita Brigupati Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Avisarasi Dikshurane Dikpati Kamaniyam Dasyamukha Mali Balim Ramaniyam Dikpati Ramaniyam Dasyamukha Mali Balim Ramaniyam Keshavadita Ramasarira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Keshavadita Ramasarira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Vasi Pipushi Vishade Vashanam Jaladabam Halati Vita Milita Jamunabam Vashanam Jaladabam Halati Vita Milita Jamunabam Keshavadita Haladara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Keshavadita Haladara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Nindasya videra Shruti Chatam Shadaya Hidaya Darshita Pashugatam Nindasya videra Mechani Vahanidane Kalayasi Karavalam Tumake Tumi Vakim Apikarala Kalayasi Karavalam Tumake Tumi Vakim Apikarala Keshavajita Kanki Sarira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare
Keshavadita Kanki Sarira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare
Shri Jayadeva Kaverida Mudita Mudaram Shinu Shukadam Shukadam Sama Shinu Shukadam Shubhadam Bhavasaram
Jayadeva Kaverida
Mudita Mudaram Shinu Shukadam Shubhadam Bhavasaram Keshavajita Rasavitarupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare
Keshavadita Dasaviharupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare.
So I'll just read the translation of the 12th verse, which I don't know how to sing actually. O Lord Krishna, I offer my obeisance to you, who appear in the forms of these 10 incarnations. In the form of Matsya, the fish, you rescue the Vedas, and as Kurma, you bear the Mandara mountain on your back. As Varaha, you lift the earth with your tusk, and in the form of Nrsimha, you tear open the chest of the demon Hiranyakashipu. In the form of Vāmana, you trick the demoniac King Bali by asking him for only 3 steps of land, and then you take away the whole universe from him by expanding your steps. As Parashuram, you slay all of the wicked Kshatriyas, and as Ramachandra, you conquer the Rakshasa king Ravana. In the form of Balaram, you carry a plow with which to subdue the wicked and draw toward you the river Jamuna. A beautiful pastime. As Lord Buddha, you show compassion toward all the living beings suffering in this world. And at the end of the Kali Yuga, you appear as Kalki to bewilder the mlechas, the degraded low-class men. Low class, they're just like creatures. By the end of Kali Yuga, humans are like, there's no real trace of humanity or human potential left there. So, and also I want to say, and we've said it before, but the just like the atheist Kapila Dev called his idea Sankhya philosophy, but the real Kapila Dev, the Lord himself, his teachings are also called Sankhya, but they are perfect. And in the same way, Buddha, Lord Buddha, is not the Buddha that people know who taught Nirvishesh, Nirvana. He's not. He's a different person. The Supreme Lord did not teach impersonalism. Guru Maharaj explains this very, very carefully. He's an incarnation of the Lord. And his chief idea was that that persons will not use the Vedas to justify animal slaughter. In the Kali Yuga, the sacrifices of animals is not allowed. And you know why? Because those sacrifices given in the Vedas, that the animal was not killed. They're given a new body by mantra. And that is, no one can do that. So if there was a slightest discrepancy in the mantra, the animal would die, and the whole sacrifice was ruined, and there was karma for killing the horse or killing the animal. So this is a really important thing to know, that Buddha came and said, no, you're not supposed to do. In this Kali Yuga, in previous Kali Yugas, as we heard last night, remembering that he was involved in intergalactic wars and simply stopped them by the beauty of his form. So there are different, he's doing different things in different Kali Yugas. But anyhow, Mahaprabhu in this form only comes once in a whole day of Brahma, in one Kali Yuga. So, if we don't take advantage of this, the influence of Mahaprabhu in this form, then we have knowingly committed suicide. Jai Saparika Shri Guru Gaura Chandra Ki Jai Srila Gurudev Ki Jai Om Vishnupad Bhakti Sundar Govindadeva Goswāmī Mahārāj Ki Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Goswāmī Mahārāj Ki Jai Śrīmatī Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Śrī Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Vrinda Ki Jai Śrī Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. We will always see everything in relation to Mahaprabhu. And the incarnations of the Lord, of course, he is avatari. He's not avatar. It's called golden avatar, but he's actually avatari. He is the source of all other avatars. And Jai. So Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur, whose disappearance day is coming up on Sunday, and tomorrow is the appearance day of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So it'll be a special program tomorrow evening. And so Narottam Shamananda Srinivas Thakur Prabhu Ki Jai, Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Saparshad Sriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai, Saparshad Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai, Tadiya Sakama Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Ki Jai, Kol Kartal Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Samaveda Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi Haribol. Please excuse all my mistakes in chanting and in so many other things. We're just trying. Haribol.
Good morning, Bhima Krishna Prabhu, Lavanya Didi, Shanta Didi, Divya Shakti Didi.
What, Didi?
Yes.
Dhanyavad.
And Kyo. Very fortunate to have the association of you all this morning.
Jai.
Dhanyavad.